Good morning and good morning. How are we doing this morning? To the regional and international diaspora, a pleasant good morning. Dave Livingstone, good morning. It's been a while since I gave you a shout out. To the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, good morning. Mario over there in Nevis. To everyone over here listening in St. Kitts, good morning, and good morning. Just to remind you, we are on your FM dial at 98.9. We're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Just to remind you of our numbers in the UK, it's 0333 440065. In the US, as usual, two numbers. The first one 718 285 6984 or 1 305 921 4619, or our local number 466 0989. Good morning, Auntie Katie. I know you're listening. You're probably packing up and getting ready to leave. I will see you later. You have a great morning. Good morning, Quint. How are we doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Trying to be better than yesterday as usual. Don't know if I'll accomplish that, but I'll try my best to be. Because, as they say, life is lifing. You wake up and you have a million things to do and you wonder, when am I going to get this done? Every day I tell my husband, did I ever said I wanted, told you that I needed a maid? I think I really do. I need some help.
Well,
Oh, boy. What were you about to say?
I rather not say.
You rather not say it? Why not?
I'm going to keep that one to myself.
Listen, there's too much to do in so little time. By the time I'm done, I don't have time for myself. I came home last night. I was so tired from work. I just had to go in my bed because I would have been up since 6 the previous morning, and then I'm up for the entire day. So it's like it's never done.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's rough around these parts.
Well, I've passed that stage. I remember when I used to have those kind of worries, but I don't have them now.
Look at you. You're in the stage where I just relax. I have nothing much to do, or what I have to do, I get it done. But I have too much to do. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wish you all the best and hope that you get them done, and you and the husband can work together to get them worked out.
Yeah, but I really think I need the extra help though. I still gonna put that in there. You gotta try your best. So to begin this morning program, I think I'm going to start international today, and I see a headline here on BBC that says Trump says Putin talks don't go anywhere as he imposes new sanctions. When did he figure that out?
Look, I don't really, I don't even like to hear that man's name. That man is a perfect example of being in a position of leadership to push the world in a positive direction, and you do completely the opposite because it's all about you and your ego.
I see, and the article, I'll just touch a little bit on it. It says the U.S. has announced new sanctions targeting Russia's two largest oil companies in an effort to pressure Moscow to negotiate a peace deal in Ukraine. The announcement came one day after U.S. President Donald Trump said a planned meeting with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Budapest would be shelved indefinitely. Oh well. Every time I speak to Vladimir, I have good conversations, and then they don't go anywhere, Trump said. While the economic impact to Russia is likely to be minimal, it represents a major shift in Trump's foreign policy, having previously said he would not impose sanctions until European nations ceased buying Russian oil. The Kremlin said Russia was immune to the sanctions. Oh well. Trump had repeatedly threatened tougher measures against Moscow, but avoided them until now in hopes of brokering a peace deal in the third and a half-year-long invasion. His administration has sought to cast the U.S. as a somewhat neutral mediator between the two warring nations after years of full-throated support for Ukraine from his predecessor, Joe Biden. But the U.S. president has grown increasingly exasperated with the Kremlin over its failure to move forward with negotiations. I'll stop there. So, yeah. Do you see? He's telling the big brother is saying something, and the brother's like, "Them things don't bother us. Minimal is nothing."
Right now, Russia and majority of those African countries get along quite well.
Yeah.
So
Venezuela too.
So what are you really trying to say? I mean, I don't get it. I guess he knows in his own world, he lives in his own world, and in his own world, he sees things the way he sees them.
And look at this now. France backing away from pledge to intercept migrant boats. Sources tell BBC. I saw some beachgoers. I don't remember. Was it in Greece the other day? They were pushing the boat back out into the sea, like or four gentlemen. They were
Yeah.
pushing the boat with
And
the
and
migrants
and
back
there's
into the
and
sea.
there's documented videos of French supposed to be coast guards and so forth, and when the people, black people, mind you, are trying to, be rescued and so forth, you see them beating their hands off of the boat and that kind of stuff. So maybe this is why it is better for them to take a hands-off approach than to be seen doing the things that we have them on video doing. So
Right, let me tell you, I was like surprised. I was like, these gentlemen are literally pushing the boat back, and now this article, I tried to get to it, but it decided it's not gonna work. But yeah, I guess they don't want to have anything to do with them. They're probably saying better y'all than us.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, so let me see if it's gonna come up this time. Okay, there we go. It says France is backing away from a recent commitment to intervene more forcefully at sea to stop small boats from crossing the English Channel, according to multiple sources contacted by the BBC. There's evidence that France's current political turmoil is partly to blame, but it will come as a blow to the UK government's attempt to tackle the issue. In the meantime, dangerously overcrowded inflatable boats continue to leave the coast on an almost daily basis from a shallow tidal canal near the port of Dunkirk. Where's Dunkirk located?
I don't know, but I guess that's up there
I'll
in
look for
in,
that.
in their region. But what I was speaking about was more in a region that is predominantly black.
Black? Okay, I'll
Yeah.
check. I
So
don't know.
this is a different story.
So it says, while the man in charge of border security in the UK, Martin Hewitt, has already expressed frustration at the French delays, the BBC has now heard from a number of sources in France that promises of a new maritime doctrine which would see patrol boats attempt to intercept inflatable boats and pull them back to shore. Wow. So the article goes on to say, it's just a political stunt. It's much blah blah, said one figure close to the French maritime security. The maritime prefecture for the channel told the BBC that the new doctrine on taxi boats were still being studied. Listen, everybody's trying to get everywhere. I just wish people would stay where they are, but sometimes they really can't because of what's happening. Because I see over there in South Sudan, they continue to bombard. I cannot believe how we are treating each other with the same color, still trying to fight for what? Things that we're going to leave behind?
On the local scene, a bit of positive news. For I heard yesterday and today in the news, our winnfm news, that in fisheries that they have been getting bountiful catches, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think one of the individuals said last year they got about $20-something million worth of monies from their catches. So that's a good thing, because we should be moving towards food and water and electricity security. Those are three of the main things that we should be, dealing with. So it's good to hear that at least, even though the farmers are complaining, or one sector of the farmers are complaining, and there doesn't seem to be much being done to remedy food sufficiency, at least when it comes to fish and marine, produce and products and so forth, where we seem to be doing good.
But we need to make sure all aspects are covered and taken care of, because we need all the food groups to survive.
That's what I was saying, and I agree with you. So I'm going to play this clip from Conris.
The minister responsible for utilities in St. Kitts and Nevis, Conris Maynard, announced the significant progress that has been made in the Federation to improve water security. Speaking during the Friday of Assembly, he outlined the key developments currently underway within the sector, the progress of the desalination plant at the C.A. Paul Southwell industrial site. More in depth, the desalination plant, according to Maynard, was turned on for the first time on October 16 to facilitate testing of its various systems. This process marks an important step toward full operational capacity. Once fully functional, the desal plant is expected to significantly boost water production in Bastille, St. Kitts, particularly in areas that have long experienced water shortages.
We are pleased to announce that progress is well advanced in the construction of the 2 million gallon per day desalination plant at the Paul Southwell industrial site. In fact, I can announce that I think yesterday they were able to power the plant for the first time to begin testing all of the trains of the plant. So over the next couple of weeks, they will be testing each facet of the plant to ensure that it can produce the fresh water that we need to return Bastille and its environs to 24-hour water.
Maynard said the government is delivering on its commitment to ensure a more reliable water resource for citizens.
This has been a major commitment of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration. We made a commitment that we will undertake to ease and improve significantly the water situation of our Federation, in particular St. Kitts. And we are well on the way to do so.
The minister hails the project as an investment that would improve the quality of life, support growth and development, and provide a reliable water supply year-round. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew made an official visit to the desal plant site on October 15. He expressed dissatisfaction with the progress made and commended Minister Conris Maynard and his team for their dedication and precision in advancing the project.
No, I play that because, as I said, there are certain priorities that should be placed on food security, water security, and electricity. Those are three main things. It is good to hear the minister make those statements, but I'm still a bit taken aback by the fact that he says we're well on the way. I think we should have been, at the point where he could come and say, okay, we're beginning to start to use this to replenish our water supply. The reason I say that is this: we're 3 years into when they were elected, and my emphasis is on, if the emphasis had always been placed on these major things, we would be well ahead, right? All of these other things that we hear coming up, and for whatever reason, they are not as important as these three major things, right? This security in food, security in electricity supplies, because everything runs on electricity these days, and water supply. People want to be in a position where they don't have to worry whether they're going to get up in the morning and they won't be able to take a morning bath because the water is off, or whether they go home and they won't be able to take an evening bath because the water is off. So to the ministers and to Mr. Conris Maynard in particular, place the emphasis on those priority things, and you will be well appreciated by your people. I still commend you because you're moving along. I think you should have been further, but what they say, better late than never. Okay.
And then they're going to say that these things take time. As you said, over the next few weeks, they're going to be testing.
Yeah.
So when everything is, I guess, as we would say, carpeted, they'll come back and say, okay, it's good to go. Everything is sorted. Water, you will have 24-hour water.
Now, recently I also heard that they had discovered a number of places where they can get water supplies around the island. So again, that is important, and I feel that to use those facilities and to tap into those facilities would be better than to move along the vein of desalination, because we know desalination has its negative aspects in terms of what it could do to the seawater and the coastline and the marine life. So yes, we have to do what we have to do, And if it is that for now we're moving in the vein of desalination, okay, so be it. But let's get back to tapping into those sources that are on the island.
Yeah, at least 17 locations, so that's good.
Yeah.
That has possible groundwater, so that's good news. But in terms of food, though, we really have to get on the go. I saw they had something recently where they gave the top farmers awards,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw Mr. Grant was awarded as a top poultry farmer. So we're good for chickens. We know we have the hatchery as well. We're
Mhm.
good for that, but we need the veggies. So we need the cooperation and the communication and the help with the farmers
Yeah.
to get the food.
We need the
On the way.
food, we need the food, the
Mhm.
fruits, and as you said, the vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
We need them, and we need them yesterday.
Yeah, not today at all. And yesterday, I know I had to run off, but whilst the farmer was speaking, I know he said the next war will be in the Caribbean.
Yeah, well, that is speculation. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I hope not.
Me
One can
too.
speculate all we want. I must say, yes, the signs seem to be that there's, a bit of an escalation, but it doesn't have to pan out into war. But the salient point he was making, though, that we should not miss is that whether or not there is a war in our vicinity, we need to be prepared. And food sufficiency is the only way we can be prepared because, as he said, let's say hypothetically, yes, a war came. As he stated, in a matter of weeks, we will be on the verge of starvation. You understand? So, and it will retard everything because, again, like he said, tourists won't be coming in through these seas if you have an escalation and,
Mhm.
so forth. So, but I hope not. I would hope,
Me neither.
yeah, that we don't go down to. I try not to buy into everything I hear,
Mhm.
especially when I know the consequences will be more negative than positive. So I wish and hope otherwise.
Yeah, but I just want us to take, as you mentioned, the necessities seriously and get them on the way because we can talk all we want, but when we talk and our bellies are hungry, we know what happened then.
Yeah, and it's
So,
up to the ruling regime, and the Minister of Agriculture to do what is necessary. He talks a good talk, but I'm not seeing the walk.
Mhm.
You understand? So maybe there's things going on that I can't see.
Yeah.
But as the farmer said, you drive around the island, you understand,
Mhm.
and tell me where you see farming, on a scale that could make us sustainable. You don't see it. You see more forestry. Our forests are expanding, and we need more food. I'm sure you can remember, Hortensia, when you drove around the islands and you could see peanut fields, you saw sweet potato, you saw fields, big fields of sweet potatoes, and you saw bananas, and you saw various number of things. You're seeing a whole lot of jungle or forest now.
Yeah, and I recently went to Barbados, and I know they have a big farming community there.
Uh,
And
Go a little closer to the mic or speak a little louder.
okay, and when
Yeah.
I look at what I saw next to the cane field, they had big fields of sweet potato, yam, okras, and I'm saying, look, they're sharing it with the cane. So it's one hand this and one hand that, and I'm like, boy,
But that is something that helps the ecosystem.
Mhm.
Apparently, when you have the cane, if you produce cane indefinitely, it kind of kills the land over time because
Mhm.
you have to use certain chemicals on the land when you're
Okay.
producing the cane. So it makes the land less productive. But when you change the crops
Mhm.
and you do these other crops, when they're finished, like the sweet potatoes, and all you do is you mulch them into when you're doing your preparation of the land. You mulch back all of that greenage back into the soil, and it acts as nutrients so that when you go back to growing cane again, the cane will be, abundant and so forth. So it's part of the farming system that they do that for healthy food production.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of greenhouses too. And when I see these things, I think about the farmers because I know
Yeah.
they come here and they talk about it. And I say, in my head, I'm saying maybe one day, maybe one day. I know Barbados is bigger than St. Kitts,
Yeah.
but everybody's trying to be
Self-sufficient, in food,
So we see Guyana is way ahead, and we see other countries are following. So we need to follow the trend as
And
well.
the thing about it, right, is if we become self-sufficient in food to the point where we have a surplus that can feed us and there's a surplus. St. Martin doesn't have the land that we have. St. Barth, certain other places around, don't have the kind of land that we have for agriculture. So we can send to them. We know that back in the day, St. Martin was always open to receiving food and vegetable produce from St. Kitts and Nevis. So the options are there. Exploit them, use them to our benefit. Yeah. So let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. Leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean. 'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
The Rotary Club of Amiga presents its 19th edition of its primary school spelling bee competition. It's this coming Thursday, 23rd October at 4 p.m. The place to be is at the ECCB Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium to cheer on your favorite speller. Free giveaways and a packed snack bar awaits you. The admission free. Premier partners, Rams, Halib Orange, Shirley, and Fruta. Don't miss the Rotary Club of Amiga 2025 Primary School Spelling Bee Competition.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
And we're back.
And hold up, give me 1 second. Okay, I was just looking at some regional news here, and I see St. Lucia's Tourism and Investment Minister, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, summoned to appear in court. Wow, summoned to appear in a district court on December 4th. So let's find out why. It says the St. Lucia Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Investment, Creative Industries, Culture and Information, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, has been summoned to appear in a first district court sitting scheduled for 9 a.m. on December 4, 2025. The matter arises from an alleged physical incident, with Eldridge Charles, unlawfully assault Eldridge Charles. That's what the incident is. It says, the alleged incident reportedly occurred on the 19th of August 2025 in the common area of the Parliament building of St. Lucia, minutes before a scheduled sitting of Parliament. The common area of the Parliament building is well known for informal and spontaneous interviews, media scrum by affiliates, and media intermingling with members of Parliament before they run up the stairs to the comfort of the Parliament chambers, free from answering questions deemed in the interest of the people. The alleged physical incident followed a silent protest in the vicinity of Parliament, mainly comprising women and concerned citizens, centered on issues of human rights, women's rights, and seemingly silencing of women's voices by ministerial misconduct deemed unacceptable. In September, Deputy Prime Minister Hilaire sought to clarify his position, noting that the matter is under legal review pending appropriate action, and offered the following. The first thing we need to ask is, She wasn't there interviewing the prime minister. She didn't have a mic. She didn't have a cameraman. Why? But she was inside Parliament. So why was she inside Parliament? Minister Hillier questioned. She wore a protester shirt inside Parliament and openly expressed her intentions. He said, "Even if you don't believe you did something wrong, but somebody felt offended by what you said or how you acted, you apologize. If the young lady felt offended by anything I told her, I would have apologized. But she didn't choose to do that. She instead made it a political issue." What do you think of something like that? There's more to go, but
I'm going to leave that alone, really. I don't see that going either here or there. It seems to be more political thing, so, and since I'm not in that venue, I'm not in, I would prefer not to touch that one.
Okay. Boy, I said, this is why I stay away from these things, This is why I stay away from these things, because...
Well, I'm going to play a brief clip. Often I say that we are our life experiences, and that is true. I'm going to play this clip coming from a man, and when I saw the video, you won't be seeing the video, just be hearing the audio, but this is a big, thick, solid black man. He looks like a bodybuilder. But it shows you that even though sometimes our outward appearance is, might be intimidating to some, we've gone through experiences that can humble us, and make us more aware of where we are in life because of what we've been through. Take a listen.
What about life scares you so much that...
It's not life.
What is it?
I went through my divorce, and it was not a pretty divorce, and I felt like I would never get married again after that. I wasn't going to get a woman pregnant either, because that to me was not building a home. It's just building another broken home, and I didn't want to contribute to that, because I came from a broken home. You have to also understand how I came into this world.
I don't know.
My relationship with my mom was a train wreck. Until I was 17, I realized, because I was told how I was brought into the world, that all the hate that I had towards my mom turned into love, because I realized that my mom was a kid trying to raise kids.
I'm sorry. That's triggering.
You want me to come on over and give you a hug?
Yeah, so you don't hear the whole thing, but what he divulged in that bit of an interview was that he was a kind of a bitter person, having gone through divorces and certain things and so forth. But when he realized growing up what his mom had been through, because he found out later in his life that his mom had been raped when she was 11 or thereabout, and got him when she was 12. So all of the things that he thought his mom was doing, and it was so harsh, and he then realized that here she was, just a child, getting children, not being savvy about how to raise children, and it changed his whole concept and understanding of maybe some of the beatings he got, and some of the things he had to do without and so forth, because as he said, he realized his mom was a child raising children. So we live in a world where often we see things and we see them in the now, and we don't try to envision what could have been in the before, what could have happened. Could you imagine someone being raped at 11 and bringing a child into this world at 12? Could you imagine that?
Don't want to imagine it, because it's just gory and wrong.
Wow.
I don't know why people are... But I saw this thing that you're talking about. Yeah, the young lady that was crying, she didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the part where he says, "You want me to come over there and give you a
Yeah.
hug?" And you see
like,
what
"No,
you see.
I'm
He's a
okay.
big strapped-in man,
I'm okay."
He looks
She
like a
was
monster.
crying,
Yeah. So
Wasn't he a football player of some sorts?
I don't know what he. But all I know is that he's an imposing figure.
Yeah. Some intervention program. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's what he was.
Yeah, so we are our life experiences. The things that we go through in life tend to shape how we react with others thereafter. So I thought I'd just play that bit of a clip there.
So, there was something that was going around where the U.S. was asking countries to take people that didn't belong there, that was seeking asylum in the U.S. I see Belize is now taking folks too. You understand, right?
Yeah, but that is another thing that kind of troubles me, you know. Here's a history that we must remember. The people who are now deciding who are supposed to be in the U.S. and who are not supposed to be in the U.S. did not belong in the U.S. in the first place. This is what we tend to forget. So you come to the U.S., the Indians, the natives, some of them were hostile, but the majority of them befriended you, and you turn hostile against them. You disseminated them. You own everything that they are entitled to, and now you have the audacity and the unmitigated gall to decide who's supposed to be there and who isn't supposed to be there. If I were any of those other countries, I would not take one individual. You understand? Because you are empowering these individuals to continue doing the nonsense they're doing. Well, whether they're offering you monies or whatever, I would not take one individual, right? I might even write them a letter and say, well, since you didn't belong there in the first place, perhaps I might give you asylum over here. You know what I'm saying? But no, not to decide who you're going to ship out this and you're going to ship out that. And usually it's people of color. You understand? Usually it's people of color. When people come from Europe and they go there, they find all kind of excuses to embrace them. But you'll have a smattering of color in you, and you have to be shipped off everywhere else. It's complete nonsense. Hello, caller.
Good morning, guys. How are you guys this morning?
Good, thanks.
Thank you. And you?
I'm good, thanks be to God. But Chris, my sentiment exactly. If I was the other countries, I wouldn't take anybody either. But greed, money, money. Greed is the problem. Plus, you don't know what criminal elements you're even inviting in your country.
That's it. And
because
go ahead.
Go ahead, Queen.
They tend to
because you think they're gonna.
They tend to do that, That is something that we need to be cognizant of. Whenever they ship people to you, you say, well, they tend to put some criminals in there who they have agreements with. They have agreements with these criminals. Look, it may not sound nice, but you go back and probe your history of how the United States, Britain, and all those places, what they have done to undermine economies that they don't want to flourish. Let's say I went to prison in the United States of America, right? I committed some heinous crimes. This is what they do. They come to me and they say, Quint, we're gonna pardon you, right? But here's the agreement. You're gonna sign off on this. You're gonna go. We're gonna send you to St. Kitts and Nevis, and we're gonna send 10 other people with you. They're not gonna be, and no one is gonna know that you're on the same scheme. But these 10 people, when you go into St. Kitts and Nevis, these are the things you're gonna do. You're gonna let us know what is happening in the country, what the government is doing, how certain things are advancing, and so on and so forth. And when we feel it convenient, we're going to give you arms or whatever, so that if something isn't going the way we want, you're going to. And this is what they do. History is there to prove it. Why you think these African countries aren't likely to accept people? Because they have now realized that when France is saying we are sending in people to help you to fight people who are supposed, it's the other way around.
They're there to spy on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because.
But it's so sad. But I agree with you. These countries, they should not accept these people, because then as some of these people that they're literally sending out, they actually have rights, They have rights to be here.
Yeah.
But he wants to send them out because of their color and where they come from.
Yeah.
And this morning when you played the thing about Russia, him saying he's going to put more sanction on Russia, Putin is like laughing at him. Yeah. As we just say, boy, go sit down. That's what Putin saying to himself. Boy, go sit down. Because Putin is not affected by any of his sanctions. He's just like China. China, why go sit down? Your sanction don't affect me in one bit. Your sanction more hurts you than it hurt me.
Yeah.
It hurting the people of your country.
Yeah.
Because you realize the sanction they put on China and stuff, who's feeling it? It's the people who live here.
Yeah.
The farmers, them who can't sell the beans, the
That's
soybeans.
Yeah.
They're
I
feeling
mean,
it the most.
imagine you're putting sanctions on China, and China buys most of your soya beans.
Yeah.
I mean, you're so
So
arrogant
you're
that.
hurting yourself.
So now his farmers are bawling. You're hearing his farmers saying, so many fields of soya beans they have to burn and they have to destroy and so forth. Well, who's to blame? You all went and you all went and decided that you were going to vote for this man, and he told you things that he was going to do, but you felt that you weren't included. They were going to be against only a certain sect of people, but now it's affecting you.
Right now here is in such a rampage. Right now, the end of the month is almost done. And if you see how these people that get food stamp, if you see how they are worried, because with food stamp as of the next month, food stamp is going to cut. Some are going to get completely cut off. People are panicking.
Is that because they haven't resolved this government shutdown as yet? Have they resolved that?
No, they haven't resolved that. Some Trump said he wanted to be everything his way or the highway. So there's no negotiating. As a matter of fact, they refuse to go back into the House. The Republicans gone on vacation. While he breaking down the White House, but he gonna build massive ballrooms. The senators and everybody, Republican senators, and them, they're on vacation, living it up, while the poor people are wondering some people wonder how am I gonna eat next month?
Well,
because they ain't gonna get the food stamp. Only God can help us.
Yeah.
All right, I'll keep on listening, guys.
Okay. Yeah. The United States is in a bit of a turmoil, and a turmoil of its own making.
Yeah, I saw Cardi B was making fun of the folks. I don't want to say fun, or she was just maybe telling them, let me change that. She was telling them, look who y'all voted. Thanksgiving is coming up and no food stamps available for y'all to have food to be thankful for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we could say she jabbing at them, but
well, I guess maybe you can say she's giving them a reality check.
Mm-hmm.
Some might say, though, that being a politician, she shouldn't really do it, but again...
No, she's not a politician. She's
not a politician. Okay, I thought it was.
No, Cardi B.
Because I don't.
Yeah, she's
I don't
an
know.
entertainer.
I hear the name, but I don't know who that is. The name rings a bell, but I don't know. When I peruse the internet, I'm looking for knowledge and so forth. I stay away from... If I see something in the vein of gossip or American politics, I tend to stay away from it because it doesn't take me one way or the other into anything positive, so I leave it alone. So I thought that perhaps it was a politician, but if it isn't a politician, then she's just giving them a reality check.
A reality check, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Because she could afford it because of her stature in life, but they can't. But she's just telling them, you should have taught when you voted, you should have voted wiser.
And here's the irony, because when you say food stamps, a lot of black people are going to be getting food stamps too, but the majority are going to be white people.
Oh, boy.
So, you see, they bash certain things. They say, oh, black people want too much expect too much from the government. They feel that they are entitled because of slavery and blah, blah, blah. And they are the ones who benefit from everything that we fought for, The things that black people fought for, the system finds a way to push the very same black people who fought for them in the back and push their people in the front. And then their people, being ignorant of the history of things, get on the black people case and say, oh, you want this and affirmative action, this and affirmative. And who has been benefiting more from affirmative action than white people, and especially white women? Yeah. So... such as it is, as it is. Let's take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horseless Value Mart IGA specials, running October 16th through the 29th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Blue Ribbon Ice Cream, just $32.99. Morning Star Meatless Entrees, $20.99. Planet Oat Milk, $11.99. Chobani Greek Yogurt, just $5.69. Banquet Chicken Tenders and Nuggets, $24.99. Essential Everyday Dry Roasted Peanuts, $12.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday Pastas are just $4.99. Imperial Margarine, $8.99. All Orchard Apple Juice Cocktails and 100% Apple Juices, $9.99. VO5 Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.99. Gain Dish Detergent, $8.49. Arm & Hammer Deodorant, just $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
The Rotary Club of La Amiga presents its 19th edition of its primary school spelling bee competition. It's this coming Thursday, 23rd October at 4 p.m. The place to be is at the ECCB Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium to cheer on your favorite speller. Free giveaways and a packed snack bar awaits you. The admission, free. Premier partners, Rams, Halib Orange, Shirley, and Fruta. Don't miss the Rotary Club of La Amiga 2025 Primary School Spelling Bee Competition.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC has sweetened the season so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back on Island T, and I also see here that Grenada is most likely to follow Antigua and reject the request made by the U.S. government of President Donald Trump to place a radar system. So Antigua already said, not yet.
Yeah.
So I guess Grenada going to say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they should do. We know the intent. And you give them, with the old saying, you give them an inch, they take a yard. You give them a yard, they'll take a mile. Hello, caller.
Yes, quick morning again. Question: did you run into the video with the news reporter doing the news, and they were doing a story about a zoo, and they were featuring the apes, the gorillas, then at the zoo, and the news reporter, she's white, and her co is black, and at the end they're talking about the gorilla and stuff, and she actually telling. She said, they look like you.
Wow.
She tell the man the gorilla looked like the gorilla. The gorilla looked like him. Did you see that one?
No. It's not like...
Which news source you saw that on, Cleo?
I ran into it on Facebook. I think it was Channel 5 News. I think it was in Chicago.
Okay.
When she realized what she did, she came back. I guess I don't know how long it took her to make an apology, but she made an apology. But I don't know. You could see the man was not really too comfortable with the apology.
But how could you excuse that? How insensitive could a person be that they're...
You know what it is? I believe it was in her thought, but she didn't realize it came out her mouth.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be completely insensitive. It means that this is something you do normally on a daily basis, and you're so insensitive that you don't realize that there's a person opposite you of color, so you just say what is normal for you to say under those circumstances.
And here's the update with the teacher that sing to the little boy, tell him he looked like a monkey and he lived in a zoo. Well, they went back and they find videotapes, I guess, old videotapes where they say something she sing all the time during happy birthdays. So the school decided they're not going to fire her or suspend her. So, but the mother, the parents sue the school.
Yeah, well, let's see how that plays out, because we know again how the United States justice system works. So that's a whole nother story in itself. But yeah.
But the irony of when you think something, make sure you're not thinking it out loud, because she thought that he looked like the ape and she think it out loud. It came out her mouth. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah.
You too. I see something here that says Morning Rush anchor discusses newscaster. So a next news station is discussing newscaster comparing black co-anchor to gorilla.
Yeah, well.
Oh boy.
These are the kind of stories I won't really bump into, because I don't go looking for them. I know the world that we live in. I know the harsh realities of how people look down on us. So I don't,
I don't think they look down on us. I actually think they make it look like they're looking down on us because they are, I don't want to say threatened, but they feel a type of way that we are the ones that look the best as we age throughout our time here on Earth. That's how I feel, because...
Well, that could be kind of true, You might be right. You might be right on that. That means what you're saying is that they're showing their insecurity.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So they'll put it over like a joke.
Yeah.
Even when you're in school and you feel this person's this way, you jab them, as you would say.
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning, Cortesia. Good morning, Quint.
Good day.
How are you doing?
I'm giving thanks for life. Yourselves?
Good, thanks.
Thursday morning, and we have welcomed the largest cruise ship from the cruise line, the Royal Caribbean.
Yeah,
the name of it is the Star of the Seas.
Yeah, I saw that last
night.
Yeah,
so it has graced our presence, and we welcome that. While you was talking to the Quint, while you was having a conversation earlier, the last caller, the prior call, with the fiasco that is happening in the Caribbean, the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, has said something and has blamed the U.S. for the murders that has occurred on the sea. As a result of that, President Trump has withdrawn aid to Colombia, because Colombia used to get aid from the U.S. for more than one other things. But the U.S. know that there was always in terms of, if you travel the source of where the cocaine comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say that to say that,
I played a clip recently where a particular lady was speaking about the major drugs that come into the U.S., and she said they do not come to the Caribbean Sea.
No, they go up the Pacific coast.
Yeah.
And into California and maybe Oregon and those other states out in the west.
Yeah.
But I want to say that the U.S. has recognized for the longest that the Colombian government and the U.S. always had good relationship. But from time to time, different administration, they're going to, especially Gustavo Petro with the Israel situation, and they host, some nations came together and it was hosted in Colombia. So this guy is playing a pivotal role. What I want to say though, the U.S. government has recognized that there is a state within a state in Colombia, where the drug cartels like Medellin, that city of Medellin.
Yeah.
And this is what our legal luminary is even alluding to and pointing to. Once a state has established within a state, that state will do things of such and others without even our government And even if our local government find out about such things, it might be too late. Because look how long Colombia has had that problem. And and it's like the government in Colombia is like the state within the state is more than the government, it seems at times. So would we want to establish something like that here and where it overrides our government, where our government have no say? Because I heard from the gentleman where he's talking about electricity and certain, as if, well, this man is going to be paying our electrical bill, you know. So I wanted to bring that to the fore because that is dangerous because the U.S. has withdrawn.
To me, when I listen to these individuals speak, these individuals are ignorant of certain facts, and I feel I put the blame for that on our governments. When you go and you speak to certain people and you say you're negotiating, you should let them understand where your government, your island stands in certain things. When you listen to these individuals and the way they speak, it is like they're telling us, when we come, we're going to make things better for you by doing this and by doing that and by doing so and so and so. As if though we're not aware that those who, as Sylvie intends to say, those who play, those who what? Those who, I can't even remember it. Those who pay the piper, play the tune or something.
Play the tune, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am amazed that when I hear these people, I ask myself, when our leaders sit down with them and have a chat, what impression has our leaders given them that they can come and do this? This whole thing with this thing about destiny and that, it's like a slap in our face, you know.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring that international aspect towards that because Trump, because of Gustavo Petro's comments, he has pulled the aid and support what Colombia was getting for more reasons than one. But I know that the United States used to aid Colombia to assist them in the fight against narcotics.
That's true.
Because the situation is like a state within a state. The cartels in Colombia, they have more. Their GDP is more than the government GDP of Colombia.
But Africa, listen to this though. Since I was a child, I've known about this fiasco in Colombia. America has been aiding them for all those years, and the big superpower, the United States, and it isn't getting any better. This is why when you say they pull aid, you're not pulling aid from a lot of those African countries was the best thing Trump could have done, because a lot of those African countries realized that the aid was killing them. What they were giving, what they were giving in terms of saying they're giving aid was to undermine them, and a lot of them realized.
So what they was getting.
Yes, and a lot of them realized we can do without this. So this is why you find Africa now is going through all of these different changes and trying to make sure they get their own internet, trying to make sure they have those borders between them. They're saying we don't have these. Namibia and two other neighboring countries, the citizens in those countries can just cross borders without passports and all that kind of
Zambia.
stuff. Yeah. So
one last thing, though, Quint. President Trump gives his rationale for blowing the boats out of the seawater, because he said when the journalist asked him, well, you guys can intercept these ships and these boats and things and so on and so on. President Trump said that they go fast boats, the speedboats. They are more than the ships that they got stationed in the waters.
Yeah.
And
I heard
everything else they have tried has failed. So this is the alternative to blow them out, to kill people.
Yeah.
The way they're doing it.
How does that sound to you? Does it sound plausible?
No, I mean that's his rationale. You know, he speaks the way he speaks because you know, I think he have carte blanche to do these things. And that is the resignation came from that Navy general because he realized that, he don't want to be responsible for things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All
right, Quinn.
Yeah, cool. When we listen to Hexet, right, the man who has been put over everybody, just listen to him. Just listen to that man speak, and you see the way they want the American armed forces to go, right? You get up in front of generals who have sacrificed themselves for so many years, and you are just a mediocre individual, never even went up high in the ranks, and you're talking down to them and saying, if you can't think, just resign, just give up, with this kind of a trying to intimidate people. How are you going to intimidate people who have been through hell and back?
Yeah.
Hello, caller? Yeah, so caller, you can call back and do so as soon as possible. I don't understand why I would just see the phone lights, and as soon as I press it, it's not, have a little patience. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm going to play a bit of humor for you. So listen to this, Hortensia.
Please don't go, please. Tell me, how can I make you happy?
You want to know how you can make me happy?
Yes.
You can only make me happy in 4 different ways.
Tell me I can do anything.
You can do anything?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to make me happy, number 1, don't ask for money. Number 2, never ask for money. Number 3, forget about money. And number 4, don't even think about money.
I know the women are going to be too enthusiastic about that.
Thank God I work.
But when I heard that, right, I had to laugh. I said, yeah, let me play it again.
But she herself, I wasn't gonna ask for money if I need to depend on him for money. He was gonna have no food, no clothes, no laundry will be done because I have money to buy nothing to wash. It's all about that. So there's a way around everything.
Fellas, you hear Hortensia's reaction, so I'm going to play it again, right?
Please don't go, please. Tell me, how can I make you happy?
You want to know how you can make me happy?
Yes.
You can only make me happy in 4 different ways.
Tell me I can do anything.
You can do anything?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to make me happy, number 1, don't ask for money. Number 2, never ask for money. Number 3, forget about money. And number 4, don't even think about money.
Remember, it's humor, okay?
I know.
Remember, it's humor.
So I would rebut, number 1, don't ask about food. Number 2, don't ask about laundry. Number 3, don't ask why the fridge is empty. And number 4, don't ask why the house is not taken care of because I have nothing to take care of the house with. Simple.
Well, your rebuttal is good. I think that's a good rebuttal. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning to you all. I hear watching you all on my TV.
Okay.
When I come back on the radio, that's so long now. That's a bit long time now. Yes, as the guy was there saying, right? I don't know what they take the Caribbean for. Long time here they used to chase down people. I saw them hold up plane and hold up boat. You send out, the American Coast Guard to these people. You just don't gumbo to your bomb, this and a bomb. Look out there. The same lady, who agree with them, because only she like in the Caribbean right now agree with them. And the Grenada wanted to do it, but maybe he make up his mind into hours. But then she in Trinidad went to do it. See, when I look at my Facebook this morning, it's saying, it was fisherman, people who they are going fishing, you could have sent out the warning, because they have the big mic and the ship. And so, well, we like to interact with this boat. We just don't bumming up, and feel like you're doing something good. I don't know, I'm to Trump and say, he knocked down. There's a part of the White House to say, I'm going to extend it now, so do much, bigger. I don't mess up the garden where they had there a long time now. You're doing a lot of baloney. And if we Caribbean people get those guns on and them come out there in a place of it, they come out and, speaking out about it. and other country. They all got to come together. And then they must stop playing, got him afraid us. Oh, if you ain't do this, we ain't stop gas transaction with you. We will please. I let go Abraham Chubby tell him in Africa. You know, he ain't bowing down to me, listen to nothing can happen. They have them for years, treating them bad. And you know, now the pretty guy see the light and see how he making life. You know what? No, must be with them and link up with them about monetary thing. You know, man must be in a monetary fund with them, because the people are strong enough to carry on the country, and that's how it is.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah. Well, I'm not aware of, is there recent videos that are actually showing fishermen and so forth? Because I saw you nodding.
No, because I was listening to her. She was saying if they would stop the boats, intercept them, they'll find out that these men that they're bombing are regular fishermen. Just going out to ply the trade. So I was just agreeing with what she was saying. No video, but I see Trump pulls the aid from Colombia, because he did pull aid from Columbia University too because of the Gaza stuff. But they said in terms of the country, President Trump announced the end of U.S. aid to the country of Colombia in October 2025. The reason the decision was announced in the context of a dispute over the country's alleged role in drug trafficking, with Trump calling Colombian President Pedro an illegal drug leader. And then Colombia's rebuttal, the move also prompted Colombia to halt arms purchases from the United States.
Yeah.
And in the U.S., Trump had cut $4 million in federal grants and contracts in March for Columbia University because of the Gaza protests they were having there. So, let me tell you, when it rains, it pours. You have to give something to get something. And as we know, when we got punished, well, now the kids, they get the tablets taken away. We got no going outside, or you had to go clean up. So I guess something for something. You're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do that.
We have a caller.
Hey, caller, go ahead. You're live on
Yes,
INT.
so what happened again, right? In Russia, they have this war prolonging. And instead they try to get it under control, just going into other things. You need to think, you see how you know and get it under control. Your friend will be Putin. And Putin not telling him how he must get some behalf for Ukraine or something like that. You need to go and serious. You know that he said, oh, I'm going to serious with Putin. And then you look nothing happening. We don't leave the Caribbean alone. You know, if this thing come to a bigger hall than it should, we ain't going to get, we're going out of current. The station and all, man, can't even work. You know, you can take the diesel to run the power. I don't know what, man, you know, these Caribbean countries like our government and get together with the West Caribbean, Dominica, Antigua, and Antigua. We refuse them to about to want put base down there. Refuse them. My whole Grenada, man, they refuse them on the lady in Trinidad, like Sherbrooke, they buy the Bajan no money for that no.
But you know, there was
up the Caribbean.
There was a U.S. base in Antigua at one time, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the radars they want to put down, and I guess the Prime Minister said no this time.
Well, what was.
As now the Antiguans use it as their army base.
Yeah. And if you delve into the history of that, you will find out it's not a good history. What the Americans did when they had their base there, and what they do when they have bases in other places, you know, over time. You delve into the history of that. There was something on my mind. Yes, I saw yesterday when we were speaking about what happened in Grenada, and I saw something you sent me there to do with the overthrow by Bishop, Maurice Bishop. Yes, and I was thinking in my mind, and I said I would rather approach it when you're in studio, in terms of what the clip suggested. And here's the thing, though. As I said yesterday when I was speaking to Sylvine, the rest of the West doesn't have a problem if we have leaders who treat us badly, because Eric Gary was a monster. You understand? When you go into the history of Eric Gary and the things that he did, you would want to believe you're reading some kind of fantasy, rather than a reality, the things that this man did, because he just had power. And so here's a young individual who comes up and decides he had enough of that, and let's use those in the Sahel states who did the same thing. You understand? You know those in the Sahel states, right? Hortensia?
No.
The Sahel states are Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso.
I know the states, but I don't know the history of what went on in India.
Okay, but they are referred to as the Sahel states. Okay, so let's say that what they did is what Maurice Bishop tried to do back then, right? In the short time that Maurice Bishop was leader of the country, this is why today Grenadians react the way they do, because they remember the changes that began to be made, right, during that short tenure. Now, what a lot of people say is, oh, well, they overthrew a government. Yes, that is true. And it is true that in the Caribbean, we won't want to see people going along the vein of overthrowing governments. That is a fact. But here's the other side to it. So you're saying that if you have governments that are tyrannical, that all of the people, especially the young people, are just going to sit down and accept it indefinitely? No, it's not going to happen. Occasionally, you will find some young people who said, enough of this already, you understand? And so that is what Bishop did. When he did that, though, the American pushed, all the propaganda they pushed was that he's a communist, he overthrew a legitimate government. Communism is, because we had it in the Caribbean, most of the Caribbean islands and leaders at that time felt like communism, just to say the word communism or communist was like the worst thing. So they used that, make sure that they disrupted things internally to the extent that they had Bishop killed. Even though the U.S. wasn't in there in terms of invasion, the U.S. was behind it. The U.S. knew very well what their intent was. And Reagan used it, the turmoil, because this is what they do. You and me have a quarrel, Hortensia, and they watch us, and they're helping me get arms to fight you, and they're helping you get arms to fight me. You understand? And this is what they push out now. They say, look at them. We have people in there. We have citizens we have to go and protect. You understand? But no one knows the story of them supplying both of us with arms, You understand what I'm saying? So when they're ready, they come in now, and the people outside around who don't know that they've been financing both of us with arms say, oh, they go in and they brought peace and they saved them. Look, you understand what I'm saying? And that is what they did across of Africa. And the Africans realized it and have put a stop to it. So we're saying that, yes, you're right. We shouldn't have people overthrowing legitimate governments, but legitimate governments must treat their people right. Yeah, that is what we're saying.
I just pulled up some stuff here about Mr. Gary, Sir Eric Matthew Gary. So as I said, I have to do a whole bunch of research so that I can be on the same page as you.
Well, and we don't have to always come back to the same topic, but I thought since you had sent me that bit of a thing that I would touch on that. Now, to what the lady was saying in terms of their being able to say, like she's saying, the people on the seas should have said to the fishermen or whatever, well, we would like you to use speakers and so. People don't understand war. Again, let's go back to Hegseth. Hegseth was speaking the way he was speaking because he knows what soldiers are supposed to do. Soldiers are supposed to carry out orders. If you're given an order to go down in the Caribbean and bomb ships, you can't talk about you're going down there to be kind and passive. They will court-martial you. Your commander will say you refuse to obey orders. You understand what I'm saying? If you're given an order, that is why the general turned in his badge and decided, well, it's either you fire me or I resign. You understand? Because when you're given, it's a difference between soldiers and a policeman. You understand? A policeman, this is why you don't put soldiers to quell civil unrest easily, because soldiers come with a different mindset. You send in police, and police can use their discretion. Soldiers aren't trained to use discretion. They are trained to use brute force.
Yeah.
Hello, caller? Again, lost that. Yeah. So to the lady who was saying maybe they should have used, no, they couldn't do that. If your commanding officer says count down to bombing that vessel, that is what you have to do. Hello, caller? Something might be happening with the phone lines, because soon as I see it flashing, I think.
But I'm looking at something here so I can see where all of this came up. It says Gary was returned in a by-election in July 1961 and became chief minister as his party held a majority in the Legislative Council since winning the 1961 general election. He served as chief minister and minister of finance from August 1961 until 1962, when he was dismissed by the British colonial government for questionable use of state funds.
Yeah. And that's only a smattering.
Yeah, that's why I said it's only a piece.
Hello, caller?
Hey, good morning, Queen. Good morning. Good morning.
Hortensia.
How we doing?
Good morning. Yeah. I'm good. Yourself?
I know you're giving God thanks for His mercy and His grace. Happy birthday to Mr. Rupert Griffin. Yeah, that's my neighbor over there.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating his 100th birthday today.
Wow.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Special
birthday, Mr.
100.
Griffin.
Wow.
That's
Century.
my friend's grandfather.
That's a lot of years. That's a lot of years.
That's a lot of
if you
years.
subtract your age from the hundreds, boy, don't tell me. Because I tell you, 40, 50 years. Yeah. And Queen, maybe the same thing. Keep the faith.
Yeah.
Now the thing with Bishop father was killed by Gary, you know. I think they had tried before and had failed.
Yes.
So it wasn't that the first time he tried, he got through. Sometimes people don't mention that. Now, what the American use is this Peace Corps. I never trusted a Peace Corps.
Yeah, that's another thing again. Yeah.
They say, oh, there was a nice... One of them helped to clean out our credit union, not credit union, our school Apex account. When she left, we couldn't find the books or the accounts because she came as they come to have managerial skills.
Yes.
I used to tell them to their face, you are the CIA agents. You hear me? Some of the students at these American schools are agents. You may not want to believe it.
Well,
They pay people, teachers, and all.
Are you aware of Bob Marley singing a song and saying, Rasta don't work for no CIA?
But plenty of Rasta does work, so you better go sit down with that.
No, the reason sometimes, Sylvine...
I know the song, but you know, look,
but here's what I'm saying. I am saying that the CIA approached Bob Marley. He was speaking individually. The CIA approached
Bob... talking personally.
Yes, well, I'm speaking about why Bob Marley wrote that song. He was approached because he was traveling all over the world, a renowned name, a reggae singer, a reggae artist, and they wanted him to spy on certain countries and bring back information. And I used that to strengthen the point you were making in terms of what you were saying before.
Yes, a lot of our countries say, oh, we welcome the Peace Corps. We had some down at Trinity School. The most I could do is play with the children, and one was in my office. I would say how he's an accountant and whatever. I told him, people, let me tell you something, you hear me? You're nothing but a CIA agent. Mrs. Henry, I said, you're a CIA agent. Do not go near my computer. So offended. And when I went to the, I talking on the radio. When I went to the IMF in 1993, the man was working there. So I don't tell you so, but Mrs. Henry like to have lunch with you, and for what? You understand?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, people from the different countries that meet. I said, not me. I don't tell you the same because you're not but a spy. But some of them be so enamored.
Yeah, well, that's the
Whether
majority
they be black,
of us. Yeah.
Black, Peace Corps, white Peace Corps, same job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes we take by, oh, you know, they're black and they say what you're supposed to say.
Well, Miss Henry, you're aware of the Tuskegee experiments, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about modern now, you know.
But you
there
see,
was,
sometimes
there was less knowledge.
Sometimes Sylvine, you don't understand where I'm working with you. You just said that sometimes they send black people, and we think that and that is what they did with the Tuskegee experiments. They sent black doctors, and so the black patients felt comfortable, not realizing that they were using them against them.
Y'all don't like to say about Bible, you know. But the Bible says, woe to the man whose confidence is in man. Even though leaders of this spy, sometimes the policies and the way they speak, you know who they're for? They're under duress. A lot of them are under duress. Because they go and they beg and this, well, if I give you this, they don't tell you at first what they want, eh?
Yeah.
Quint, you like the radio and you like electronics and so. You could have set up your own studio, you know.
Yeah.
You're so glad for the offer. You realize you've been put in a trap.
Well,
and some people, when you tell them, oh, Mrs. Henry, you're always talking about America.
Recently, when the Attorney General was here and sitting down over there,
I heard him about propagandist.
He tried that by saying, so suppose you have the Quint zone and the Quint, and that was sort of to pacify me, you know, to caress my ego, so that, you know, it would, the Quint zone and so people have their subtle ways of using that kind of a psychology.
Yeah, but you need to know. You see, I'd be glad. Since in the 60s, you know, my brother was living in St. Thomas, and he used to bring home these Jet. You remember the Jet magazine?
Yes,
you know,
Jet magazines. Yes.
Like the small to the ebony.
Yes.
And I said, what is this? And I got the book. I forget the one who went to Russia. It was from the Black Power movement. I think he wrote The Train is Coming.
Yeah.
I read those books. And I people, I don't want to go St. Thomas. I don't want to go to an American country. They go all into seminaries and recruit. So they go to the churches and they recruit. And sometimes we're so glad we don't even know what we're getting into.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people don't volunteer, you know. They really don't volunteer. Or you can go to the Caribbean and teach and whatnot and whatnot. When you put the signature on the paper, they say, well, honey, well, you know, we got to be supporting you all the time, you know. I have a good friend here, you know. I always have my eye on the person. They come in and they set up so-called industries. Take over our culture thing. Oh, you know, that mango is good for so and so and so and so. Next thing you know, they go and they take out the patent on it. It's when I went to India, I learned a lot of these things, you know, because the Indian government don't make joke. The man who was the head of the WTO,
yes,
I couldn't believe what he was saying. Because they say, oh, you know, he said, look, not the Netherlands, you send milk in there, they dump it. They block it, and the milk powder that they used to send,
yeah,
they ban them, and this is the man from thing, you know. You go to a KFC in India, they have an Indian things on them. So whatever recipe they got for these Caribbean and other countries, not in India,
but
they're made to suit the Indian culture.
But you see, Sylvine, that brings up a whole nother story. It buys into what you said. We're so gullible and so enamored by people.
And insecure.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a young boy in the park during the time when they were dealing with Saddam Hussein, I think it was, right? And some big men were having a conversation, and I being around because they would play dominoes and that kind of stuff, they turned to me and asked me what I felt about the fact that Saddam Hussein was trying to take back, I think it was Kuwait, right? Yes, trying to take back Kuwait. And I asked them, mind you, I'm a young boy, and these are four big men. One of them was retired from the army. And I asked them, I said, are you aware that Kuwait originally belongs to, and they said no. And then another one said, but so what? The boundaries had been changed and blah, 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 right? And
ignorant.
Yeah, and so I asked them, I said, let me ask you this. When we are thinking about what is happening up there in the so-called Middle East, are we concerned about the medicine that we get here? What do we have to test there to make sure that we aren't compromised? And you know what? A doctor was among them, and you know what he said? He said, man, you think you're crazy the kind of money we spend with them? You think they're going to jeopardize that kind of money? And I said nothing else. These were grown men.
Let me tell you something. I remember it was in the 70s. This thing they were talking about, they're going to get vaccinated against HB. Is HB what?
HB1B something, so, yeah.
So, I took my daughter to the outpatient one day. And they said, let me tell you all something. Nobody giving me child that, you understand? She said, Henry, you know, that's a mission combative. We send we read and research and learn. A lot of us, we only listen to what somebody tell us. We don't do our research ourselves.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, you decide what you want and what you don't want.
Yeah.
When people know that, look, you can't just go pull nothing across me saying, you better come good. So if they're not that quaint, you know, but you see, if you don't have the information, you're in the army and say, oh, well, we're never going to war.
Yeah.
But darling, I showed Trinidadians wake up the day they had 2 years. We learn late.
Yeah.
You know, they give us aid. They give us aid. But how much did they get? They always have a surplus, you know. They're busy punishing countries.
Yeah.
And they always have surplus, you hear me, in their trade account.
Yeah.
Against most of the world. But anyway, somebody need to give Donald Trump some history lesson. You know, they said the harder you go, the higher you go, the harder you fall.
Yeah.
You need to know that other countries, empires have come and gone. You need to know that. So no man rule this world but God. So just let me continue. One morning he wake up. People got in can't get a salary and he talk about the billion. Ballroom, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of logic is that?
But Sylvian, do you expect any difference from the time he has known himself? He has been spoiled. His father gave him...
No, he ain't spoiled. His father was a KKK man. He wasn't spoiled. He was born and raised. You understand me? That way.
But when I say spoiled, you know, boy, Sylvian is very combative, you know. You notice when I'm working with her, she's so combative, she's combating against me even when I'm trying to strengthen her point.
I know, but I'm just trying to tell you he wasn't spoiled. The man was raised like that. His father was like that. And imagine that he in construction and black people are supposed to live in the property.
Yeah. So don't be surprised. He has been a pampered child, and imagine your father gifting you X amount of millions, Sassad, and then you come and you're telling the world that you're this brilliant business person and blah 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 and that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah.
Man ignorant.
Yeah.
Even his policies, if you examine the policies he institute,
hold a second.
Man ignorant.
Hold a second. Hello, caller.
Yes, Miss.
Miss Henry saying that they need to give Trump history lesson. But first they have to, before he can even go deep into history, they need to let him know that he is the president for the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Because he was on a press conference where he said, I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. You are the president of the Virgin Islands. So first, before he go deep into history, then he's informing that he is the president for the Virgin Islands.
Wow.
Don't even talk about that. I go St. Thomas to visit. And the very first time I go walk across Main Street, I say, are you crazy? Not a black business on here?
You know.
I say, you're going to have revolution in this place.
Oh, my God.
I tell them, so I say, you can tell me that all of these young people growing up in the Virgin Islands have to leave their country to go on in the USA to get a living? The same thing we're saying, sit down.
Well, that is what I was just thinking. That is where we're heading.
Well, I don't say it in St. Thomas.
Yeah.
And St. Croix, too.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
when
I am back.
and when we see when
No,
we Miss Henry, I'm gonna cut that because he's having a conversation with somebody there. Yeah, when we see the trend our leaders seem to want to take, where they're thinking about people coming in and setting up zones and that kind of stuff, you see where they're thinking. And I remember, I grew up a certain part in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I never wanted to go to the U.S. My mother offered for me to be what you call naturalized or become a citizen or whatever, and I said no. You understand? I had visas. The last visa I had was a 10-year visa. I traveled on it only once, and that was when unfortunately my younger brother got shot and killed in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I say all that to say this. As a young boy coming from the Virgin Islands and coming back home, and I saw how we were, as a St. Kitts Nevis, kind of underdeveloped, I still appreciated it because I knew that we had potential for growth. But when I saw how things began to play out, what I realized was that we were heading down the same road the Virgin Islands had had. You understand? And when we had reached the point where our young men were killing one another, like 30-something murders in a year and this and that, I realized that is what I had seen when I came back and see where we had reached. So we had better be careful as a people and our leaders that we don't walk down the very same roads of those that we see before. Use them as examples, you know? So let's take a bit of a commercial break, and when I come, okay, I'm going to take this call first. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning, Quint. Cortense.
Good morning, bro.
Yeah, man. Miss Henry made some great points, but Quint, yeah, she was digging back at you, man.
Yeah, man, she's very combative.
Donald Trump is spoiled. He need that same test that they're trying to instill on people who will take the U.S. citizenship. He needs to get that same course and get them answers right. He need a civics course in American and world history. Even then, them trying to get down there in Grenada right now, they don't even got the history. He don't care about the history. A bully don't care about no history. You know, that's how they're rolling right now. Them man don't care about no history of any place. They just want to do what they want to do and get in there when they want to.
Yeah.
The history of Grenada that we was trying to discuss yesterday and continually, that's what I made that request. You know, the history, we got to get the history. Look, somebody bring out another point again. That Eric Gary killed Maurice Bishop's father.
Yeah.
Made 2 attempts, second attempt was successful. Some of us don't know these things.
Yeah.
The history is very important.
Yeah.
And the points that was made about the Virgin Islands and, you know, the development there, and we see how the different groups of people came in and take over. Miss Henry said when she came to VI, and she said all the businesses there is run by foreigners. We're watching that transformation happening in St. Kitts Nevis right now before our eyes. And the people who are on the party lines, is refusing to acknowledge that. And when we're talking about history and we're talking about Trump needs that history, Quinn, if what I'm about to say right now, our own Prime Minister needs to be reminded of our history as well. Prime Minister and Premier, both of them. You know, the Prime Minister was talking, he was acknowledging Hillary Beckles. I think that's the Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies. I listened to the Prime Minister referencing that man and how that man is doing good to try to get reparations, and you know he's an activist for black people, and he's keep continually pushing that black history. And when I listen to the Prime Minister, man, it's so funny to see that these guys are talking about our black history, but yet still they're moving contrary. I don't understand this stuff at all, man. I mean, I do understand it, yeah, but you know, the politicians of the day, man, in St. Nevis with this SSD law stuff and all of this stuff that going on, they don't really care. Their man is just worrying about their pulling up their pockets. It's too evident. We cannot ignore it. Man, the Premier and the Prime Minister and the politicians of the day, they are just pulling up their own pockets. Look at what's going on in Nevis, what we're talking about every day. Man, it's only two. This thing start with this. To me, when I got back in the mix, I see clearly. When it comes to money, started with that CBI program they initiated. For all of these years the CBI been running, the money did not trickle down to the working class. The politicians, the agents, and the lawyers. Look, and these are the people that got grabbed all of that money. The working class didn't get it. Now we are seeing another initiative right now in front of our eyes. This proposed Destiny Enclave coming to Nevis. These people already done got certain amount of lands, capturing the lands. And if this was such an important thing for Nevis, why is only one realtor company working with the proposed developers? Why is that money only going into one realtor hands? And when we look and listen to the Premier carefully, the man has goals that he's talking about, that cryptocurrency. They are going to try to link cryptocurrency and Bitcoin to our energy stream, which is that geothermal. They're going to try to do it. If they succeed, all and every project that comes to St. Kitts and Nevis,
Burl, hold a second.
Yeah.
Hello? Just hold a second. Hello? Sylvine, you're back. I want you to, Sylvine, I want you to be brief, and then I want Burl to wrap up because I want to take a commercial break after. Go ahead.
All right, good morning,
Burl.
Burl, good morning, Burl.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sylvain.
I said, good morning, Burl. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Good morning to you, too.
Go ahead, Sylvine.
You can hear me, right?
Go ahead, Sylvine. Make your point because I want you to be brief so that, yeah.
What I am saying, when you have a country that is broke, you hear how the deficit is growing?
Yes.
In order to stay in power, you need something real, I imagine, because the truth is, for what they propose, they cannot do. They are not going to do it. They're not going to do the revetment along the coast.
Yeah, that's what
Neither down Fort Thomas nor the Nevis one.
That is what I kind of surmised. That is what I've been saying. Go ahead.
But if you got any kind of common sense, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to give you this and give you that. You want to give now. The hospital standing up there still. You understand?
Yeah.
Look, if we take our time, sorry to be combative, as you say, I call it affirmative.
Yeah.
If you stop to analyze what they're offering us, we collected more than that. And therefore, if you pass the money now, you have it, you have nothing to lose. Fix the hospital now. Pass the 20 million or billion, we could do with it now. I mean, really? But they know better, but everybody wants to rule. They want to rule for 40 years. And to me, the saddest thing is that this new government having the same old Minister of Investment. That's crazy. That's crazy. What did he do? He goes where he live in Dubai. He got his blueberry. I mean, what kind of investment you expect him to bring? A lot of us passing over that, you know. He's more susceptible.
When you say, Sylvine, when you say minister, you mean our present Minister of Foreign Affairs?
The present Labour administration.
Yes.
The minister is Dr. Denzel Douglas.
Yes.
Who was the what did he bring?
I just wanted you to be clear. I just wanted to be clear that I understood.
I thought you got it.
Yeah, I didn't.
But seriously, how could you make that gentleman the Minister of Investment and all of those? I mean, were you begging for it? He has contact from a long time. I can't prove it. It is possibility he'll bring the ideas. And we're desperate now because our deficit keep growing. Our capital projects list is long.
Yeah.
And we can't finance it.
Yeah.
I heard Dr. Joe bothering up Dr. Douglas. He can't fool the man. You understand? Oh, he this and he that. I said, Lord have mercy. Anyway, pray for the country. All of us pray for the country.
Yeah.
One thing to talk, and next thing to ask God to intervene.
Yeah.
He will deliver.
Okay, Sylvine.
All right then.
Yeah, go ahead and wrap up your point now, Burl.
So this stuff that's coming to Nevis is in the name of trickery and deceit. The destiny that's coming to Nevis is coming under the disguise, deceit and trickery. Like Miss Henry just said, if you got that money, put that money up now. But instead, Quinn, they only gave the people 10% down payment on their land.
Burl, are you aware of the carrot and the stick strategy?
No. Honestly, no.
Okay, well, when they use rabbits and so forth to run in races, they put a carrot on a stick because they say rabbits love carrot, and they move the carrot. They move the carrot along. The rabbits run after it, and that is a term that they use, that the colonialists use, because once you put a carrot, people are going to gravitate and run, and you can use them the way you want for your initiative. So these present ones, they're using the very same carrot and a stick. Finish your point.
Yeah, so quickly, like I was saying, if they got so much money, help us out now. The thing from our politician side is that all that CBI money, they mismanage that money, and now they're taking it out on us. Miss Henry made some great points down the stretch there. But my thing, they put that 10% in people, they pay them people 10% and put the rest money in the escrow. They're going to make them landowners wait for that rest money. They're coming with the trickery and deceit. Right before our eyes, this administration, local in Nevis and federal in St. Kitts, going to be remembered and be judged. They're going to go down in history as the two cabinets that really sold out St. Kitts and Nevis. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.
Okay, same to you. And before I take that bit of a commercial break, let me say this. We're putting all the blame on the present regime, but the old people have a saying, don't bawl for who's going, bawl for who might come. And I say that to say this: unless those who are waiting on the outskirts have plans and proper plans, this is what we're going to see happening in the future. We're just going to go vote in the next set of people. They're going to go in there without any proper plans for moving forward, they're going to find themselves in a desperate position, and they're going to do what they think they need to do to survive. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is, those of you who are presently in the opposition, be sure you have plans, realistic plans, plans that you know when you get in, it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get them implemented, but because you have planned them, you will try your endeavor best to execute them. If you don't, the only thing we are going to see is what is happening in Europe now. Europe, for all the big plays and all the advance that they say that they were, now you find that they're cutting back on this, imposing that on their own people, and their own people are getting up in arms and saying, we won't have any of it because we elected you to push us forward, and all we see is that you're living good and we are the ones who are suffering for your mismanagement. So I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break. Is there anything you want to say, Hortensia?
No, I was just looking for something.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break and I'll be back. And when I come back, I'm going to play a clip that strengthens what Sylvian was saying in terms of how the IMF, the World Bank, and those big bodies use us around the world for their benefit.
Found the sound. 98.9 FM.
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? It's the 14th annual St. Christopher Children's Home Family Walk and Run. Saturday, November 8th at the beautiful Royal St. Kitts Golf Course. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of fun, fitness, and giving back. Registration opens at 3 p.m. and the walk starts at 4 p.m. sharp. Adults only $60. Kids 6 to 12, $30. Little ones under 6, absolutely free. Every registration comes with an event shirt plus a delicious barbecue lunch from the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Enjoy our exciting kids zone powered by Lucid SKN, amazing raffle prizes, and complimentary transportation from the Sands Complex and the fire station starting at 2:30 p.m. Get your tickets now at Royal Beach Casino, Four Ways Restaurant, Harper's, and Jad. Saturday, November 8th. We'll see you there.
Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis. The TDC Home and Building Depot tent sale is back. This Saturday, October 25th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., grab up to 75% off selected items, from building materials to household goods, appliances, and so much more. You'll find deals you just can't resist. But hurry, it's one day only. Don't miss this massive tent sale happening at TDC Home and Building Depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. TDC. Together we succeed.
The Rotary Club of Lyamiga presents its 19th edition of its primary school spelling bee competition. It's this coming Thursday, 23rd October at 4 p.m. The place to be is at the ECCB Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium to cheer on your favorite speller. Free giveaways and a packed snack bar awaits you. The admission free. Premier partners: Rams, Halib Orange, Shirley, and Fruta. Don't miss the Rotary Club of Lyamiga 2025 Primary School Spelling Bee Competition.
And we're back. And during that break, I was kind of smiling to myself because I was thinking about that clip I played where the guy says the four ways to make a man happy, and then your rebuttal. Repeat your rebuttal again, Hortensia.
No food, no cleaning. He will have, it was no food, because I don't have anything to cook. The house won't be clean. His clothes won't be washed. And there's one more thing I said that I can't remember at the moment. But it all pertains to him having everything that works that
depends on money.
That depends on money.
Yeah.
But as I say, thank God I work. So.
Yeah. So I just had to smile to myself because I do like your rebuttal. You know, I think you'd make a good lawyer.
Yeah. In my next lifetime, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll be a lawyer and a doctor, two in one.
So I'm going to play this clip now, and listen carefully to this.
What if I told you that the United Nations, in partnership with the IMF and the World Bank, has created a network of foreign tax collectors operating across African countries? Not to develop the continent, but to extract wealth in the name of global cooperation. Today's analysis exposes a system so silent yet so powerful that it has turned Africa into a continent of taxpayers for Western creditors.
The UN has been sending Western tax collectors to Africa to force the continent to pay their foreign debts. And if you think this isn't real, here is their website. They are implementing sales tax, minimum tax rates, taking African businesses to court for tax evasion, and they are bragging about the billions they collect from the continent.
The operation is called Tax Inspectors Without Borders, a joint initiative between the United Nations and the OECD. On the surface, it sounds harmless, a program meant to help developing countries strengthen their tax systems. But beneath the surface lies a darker reality. The organization sends Western forensic tax auditors into African nations to comb through local businesses, close every possible tax loophole, and ensure that every coin that can be taxed is taxed, so that governments can pay back IMF and World Bank debts. But who truly benefits from this? The people or the lenders?
What the UN does is they send forensic tax auditors from the West to African nations to close loopholes, audit businesses, and implement tax laws that extract as much money as possible from the local population in order to pay back IMF and World Bank loans. And they are very good at what they do.
Imagine a farmer in Nigeria, barely surviving on small profits, now being tracked by foreign-trained tax inspectors. Or a small business owner in Kenya being audited by systems they neither understand nor can afford to challenge. These policies don't just collect taxes, they extract livelihoods. They squeeze entire communities under the weight of debt repayment, all while Western nations call it democracy and fiscal discipline.
Have you seen unpopular tax reforms in your country? Have they increased your cost of living, or have they had a positive impact?
Is it really democracy when the rules are written in Washington and enforced in Abuja or Nairobi?
Tunisia was one of the first countries to work with the UN tax collectors in 2015. And since then, the Tunisian government has increased tax revenue over 50% relative to GDP.
In Nigeria, this foreign influence is beginning to take full shape. The government has signed a bundle of tax reform bills, officially taking effect from January 1st, 2026.
Recently, you've probably seen different tax reform laws in West Africa, Kenya, among others, and all were pretty unpopular, but they were implemented with a carrot and stick methodology.
These so-called tax reforms are not designed by local policymakers alone. They are guided by IMF and World Bank technical advisors, many of whom are attached to programs like Tax Inspectors Without Borders.
If the African leaders don't work with the Western tax collectors, they face sanctions. But if they play nice with the tax collectors, they get more loans from the IMF.
The UN sends people called tax collectors without borders to go to Africa and work with African governments who will impose punitive taxes on Africans so that they can use that money to give it back to the IMF and the World Bank. They have not stopped and they will not stop trying to take the blood of Africans. From the days of slavery, they will not stop. Till the days of colonialism, they will not stop.
And you've probably figured out this game already. The West is getting the African nations to run up large debts, then training the African governments to collect the interest payments from the local population, and that money then goes to Western banks. And in many African countries, over 70% of the government revenue goes towards debt servicing. So it's essentially a much more efficient form of colonialism.
If your country is trying to collect taxes from you, those taxes are not going to your own country, but they are going to the West. These people are blood hungry. They want everything from the African, and they will not stop.
But the real question is, why must Africa always bleed wealth upward, while the IMF and World Bank continue to dictate what good governance means? The IMF calls it fiscal responsibility. The World Bank calls it revenue modernization. Yet ordinary Africans see it for what it is, economic punishment disguised as reform.
And when I play these clips, all I want to do is take out the word Africa and insert Caribbean, and it's the same thing. Because let's look at when our countries ran up their debt and we had to go to the IMF. You see what they did? This very same thing that is outlined there. That's the first we got. We became aware of this. What they call it? This.
Yeah, you're talking about the tax.
What we have when we buy food now? When you buy
VAT.
food, the VAT. Yeah, and you see how high the VAT was. This is what they do. They watch you run up your debt. Mind you, this tells our leaders, be fiscally prudent. Because when you're not fiscally prudent, you've set the trap. You understand? And they're going to come now. You're going to go to them. They're going to say, we're going to give you money. And the interest is going to be so exorbitant. And they're going to find all kind of other ways. So next thing you know, you're imposing these big tax on your people. But the majority of the money isn't coming back into your economy. It's going to pay your debt.
Pay your debt.
Caribbean people, be aware of what is happening. Leaders, stop being so gullible. And these are some of the things that Sylvine was just speaking about. Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, guys. Quint, I say on this very same station before, the IMF don't mean us no good. All it does is teach our leaders how to keep us oppressed.
Yeah.
It don't mean us no good. It just teach them how to oppress the people. And Quint, you always talk about our leaders and the negotiating skills. But you know, I run into a story where it said this destination deal. You know, you've been touting that they should reconsider. I run into a thing that say if they sign paper already, and if they back out, Finkits will have to pay them $23 billion. But if they back out, they will only have to pay Finkits $75 million.
Well, that is what I'm hearing, but that is neither here nor there.
It's Nevis,
because I'm hearing that, but I'm going to say that from my vantage point, I'm going to say that that is more rumor than reality because it sounds ridiculous in itself. How can our leaders be so foolish that you're going to sign a deal like this, where if they pull out, they pay a minimum, but if you pull out, where you're going to get that, you know? So, yeah, but yes, I've been hearing that, but I pay no credence to that.
That's what I have to say, Quint. I say Quint always talk about negotiation, and they need to go learn negotiating skills. If they make this kind of deal for real, then something wrong with them. They're really stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, have a good day.
And we see it in simple ways. Right? I'm going to show you a simple example. Recently, the Minister of Agriculture came here. He's the minister, not only the Minister of Agriculture, he's the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of to do with music and there's a name for that. He's the Minister of Fisheries and so forth, and another ministry, right? At least 4 of them. And he walks in here by himself.
No, he didn't bring anybody to
Nobody. Mind, you have all those portfolio, and you're going to sit down for an interview. You know what that tells you? It tells you either one, he intends to control the narrative, where he says what he wants to say, and you accept it, or if he was coming to have an interview where we would ask question, which he wasn't, then why aren't you with someone else? You understand? So that if we ask, for instance, if I ask about farming, why don't you at least have your permanent secretary? You understand? So if they do that with us, who they look down on, because let's face it, a majority of our leaders seem to look down on us, the people, right? They seem to, when I say look down, it's like they feel that we are naive, so they can get things over on us. But you could imagine when they go out to foreign investors and they sit down to negotiate, how often have we heard the Prime Minister is going to so-and-so to Dubai or wherever, and you hear his contingent, and his contingent aren't really advisors and people who are in the know. So when you go and you sit down with these people, no wonder they will fool you, because you don't have, at least carry some permanent secretaries with you. We are not foolish. We know that we elected you, but you don't run the country. It's the permanent secretaries who run the country. So carry people who know, let them, and don't carry yes men or yes women. That's another thing again. Stop picking or surrounding yourself with yes people. Yes people do not advance a country. Yes people say what you want to hear. Carry people who you know when you sit down and you negotiate and you say, well, Mr. Minister, I propose so-and-so. You turn and you say, well, here's my minister of so-and-so and so, and I would like you to say what you have to say to him. And you sit down on the sideline and listen and learn. Unfortunately, our leaders don't do that, you know. So I saw my phone lighting up. If it lights up quick enough, I'll take a final call and then we'll bring things to an end. If not, then this is how we bring things to an end today. Is there anything you want to say, Hortensia?
Nah, you said a mouthful. As I said, I hope the powers that be, that they are always listening, or whoever listens, take it back the way it was said, not add, not take away anything, and so that we can all do better, because they normally say if leadership is bad, then everything is bad.
That's it, you know.
Even in a simple home,
Yeah.
same thing.
And there are certain clips that I play that I will not delete. I'll keep them so that I can play them again and again. And that one with the UN is one that I might play again so that it reverberates in your mind the way how these superpower structures exploit the weak. Okay? And that's how we bring an end to Island Tea for today. Continue to have a great day.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
The Rotary Club of Amiga presents its 19th edition of its primary school spelling bee competition. It's this coming Thursday, 23rd October at 4 p.m. The place to be is at the ECCB Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium to cheer on your favorite speller. Free giveaways and a packed snack bar awaits you. The admission, free.